Hey y'all, I'm Charity and I'm a country music artist out of Nashville, Tennessee, and welcome to The Creative Push.
Welcome, Charity.
Hi, thank you for having me. I'm very excited to be here.
I would love to know a little more about your childhood and how you grew up.
Yeah, so I grew up on a cattle farm in a little bitty town called Hope Hull, Alabama. Basically, there's more cows than there are people in the town still today. I just grew up farmer's daughter, worked a lot on the farm with my dad and my two brothers.
Was there anybody else in your family that was into music?
Yes. So my mom really encouraged us when we were kids to do like programs at church and mommy and me days and things like that where there was always music around. But my dad actually grew up singing in a family gospel band. So they traveled all over the Southeast pretty much, mostly Florida and Alabama, but they sang gospel music.
And did you play on stage or do any of those sort of things when you were a child?
I did a lot of things, just like church programs and school programs, as much of that as I could. And then when I was about 7 years old, I was supposed to sing the national anthem at the local ball field. And that is when I decided to have stage fright that day. And I didn't sing for about 7 years.
What was it that changed to where you could get back on the stage?
I think I just gave myself no choice. I knew that I wanted to start competing in pageants, and my mom pretty much told me, like, you're doing the Miss America organization or you're not doing anything. And so I did. I started in the teen program, and you had to have a talent for that.
And how old were you when you did that?
I was about 13 or 14. She made me wait until I was a specific age because that's when she thought I would be the best prepared for it. And she was probably right looking back on that now. But I had to have a 90-second talent. And so I sang a song called Cowboy Sweetheart.
Then did you study music in college or?
I didn't. So I went to the University of Montevallo, which would have been an incredible place to study music. However, my counselor, whenever I first enrolled, was like, hey girl, I'm just warning you, if you're into commercial music and you do work that is music outside of school, there's no way you're going to have the time or the want to study classical music here. And I was like, you know what? She's probably right. And so I actually studied business. I have a degree in marketing and a degree in finance.
That's very helpful in the music industry.
Yeah, it is.
Give us a little bit of insight about what made you move to Nashville.
Well, I think my dad and I had been talking to it because after I started pageants, I was using a vocal coach to train me on my talent. And he was like, you know, Charity, you could actually sing country music, not just 90 seconds of it. Like, you can actually do it. And so I started doing like little competitions here and there. And then it quickly became my dream to become an artist in country music. And whenever I decided to do that, it was pretty obvious that I was going to end up here one day.
You were a runner-up in Miss Alabama in
I was
2020.
Yeah. And I competed in the teen pageant as well. So it was, it's been a lot of my life. It completely paid for my college. So I'm very, very grateful to the Miss Alabama organization.
That's great.
Don't you dare apologize for how they see you through their eyes. It'll be alright, Miss Alabama.
Why did you choose music of all things? Is it just something that you've always felt inclined to do?
Yeah, I think so. And I think once I'd started doing the pageants, I realized how much I loved being on stage in front of people because that was my favorite part of it. The rest of it was fine and cool, but I loved getting to sing in front of people. And so when I started doing more like local competitions and things like that is when I really realized I want to do this. That's how I ended up making my mind up, I guess.
What is the one thing that you wish you had known when you got started?
That's a tough one. I would say it's okay that not everyone is going to like you. I spent so much time trying to please everyone and make new friends and get back old friends or keep old friends. And at the end of the day, sometimes you just outgrow people, and sometimes that's because of your work, but the amount of people that you're going to meet from doing it is going to bring you so much more joy and so much more happiness than you could have imagined.
And what is your goal with your music? Are you more of a songwriter, more of an entertainer?
I would say I'm somewhere in the middle. I love writing my own songs, but also if there's a song out there that's incredible and people need to hear it, I will happily be the person to sing it.
Okay. Do you co-write with other people here in Nashville?
I do. I've actually got a co-writer coming tonight and another friend coming tonight as well that's an incredible artist in town as well. So.
And your fiance is also an entertainer, correct?
Yes, he is. Preston James. Look him up.
So far in your career, is there any failures that you've had that you've learned from?
I would say yes, but also the fact that I tried something and did it doesn't really, even if it didn't work out the way I wanted it to, doesn't really make it a failure. I think for me, I've learned more from being too nervous to do something or too scared to do something and not growing from that. And so for me, the biggest mistake that I could make right now is to not continue going.
And you play guitar?
Yes.
Correct. And at what age did you start playing guitar?
I started playing guitar probably around 16, 17. It was after I'd started singing and was singing with tracks, and I got to the point where I was like, well, I kind of want to do this cool thing with my voice, and I'm tired of singing it the exact same way every single time. So that was when I was like, maybe I should learn how to play an instrument.
Yeah, okay. Who are your influences?
Well, because I grew up in Montgomery, Alabama, Hank Williams is definitely a big part of that. I grew up listening to him the majority of my life. I mean, since I was 6 months old, my parents have been, or 6 weeks old really, my parents have been playing me Hank Williams. They're like, that one was always the one that got you. So Hank Williams, I'm a really, really big Patsy Cline fan as well. And if it's old, I love it.
Okay. So you're inclined to kind of go towards the older country.
Yes. And you'll probably be able to tell tonight. But I also love Miranda Lambert. I think she's incredible. I love what she does. So.
Do you consider that you have a style or a technique of all of your own?
I wouldn't say that, just because I think it's really hard in the world that we live in to do something that no one else in the world has ever done or never come up with. Actually, my fiance and I were on the way to his mom's house earlier today, and he's like, well, there's only 12 notes. There's only so many that you can do. And I was like, yeah, you're right. There's not that many options.
What is creativity to you?
Creativity is freedom to me. The opportunity to draw something, or my mom, fun fact, is a tailor. She makes incredible clothes.
Does she make your clothes?
She has made so many of my clothes. Evening gowns. I don't know when this is coming out, but she's making my wedding dress.
Oh, that's awesome.
So to me, creativity can look like that. There's so many different avenues to be creative, but it's really the best way I know how to describe it is just freedom to think what you want to think, to say what you want to say, to do that in any avenue that you wish.
What motivates you to create?
I think for me, whenever I'm the most creative is when I am going through something. Some of it is just like a muscle that you have to train to keep going. But I would say the best is whenever I have some kind of personal connection behind it, whether that be family, whether it be happiness, whether it be heartbreak, whether it be worry, whatever you may be feeling that day. For me, if I feel actually what I'm writing, which most of the time if I'm not feeling it, I won't finish it. So
what do you do when you get stuck?
Usually that's whenever I call a friend, because 9 times out of 10 when I'm stuck the most is when I'm writing by myself instead of with a co-writer, because it's a little easier to move through things when there's 2 of you or 3 of you than it is sometimes by yourself. So I'll call a friend. So a great example of that is I have a song that I'm going to play tonight that is very near and dear to my heart called Work. And I got stuck with it and I sat on it for about 8 months. And whenever I was tired of holding on to it because I realized I wasn't going to be able to finish it by myself, I brought it to a friend and she was like, wait, I love the idea, but I think this direction needs to be changed to this and this to this. And then the rest of it fell out as soon as we made this few changes. And it never would have happened had I not had a co-writer with me. So
okay, well, that makes sense.
yeah.
What's your biggest struggle?
I think my biggest struggle sometimes is, like so many other women in the world, confidence. And I'd love to act like I have it all down and I'm all good and nothing bothers me. But I am a lady and things do bother me sometimes. And just the fear of other people not liking me is sometimes really difficult. And it's a big thing to have to move past. And I will say I'm proud of myself because I've made a lot of progress. But it is a fight every single day to sometimes just let go. Let the cards fall where they're going to fall.
Yeah, I can understand that. What do you see in your future?
I hope that I see lots of songs, lots of albums, lots of tours. I want to play country music and I want to play it all over the world. I don't care if there's 2 people there or 20,000 people there. A show's a show.
And is there anything that you'd like to learn that you haven't learned yet?
Ooh, well, I picked up the fiddle for about a couple months. So I'd love to pick that back up and learn the fiddle because I just loved it so much growing up. It's like my favorite instrument to hear. So I'd love to learn the fiddle. And always, I mean, you're always learning in this career, whether it be people skills, whether it be other people's experiences and putting that into words, learning to be a better writer, learning to be a better performer. I don't think you ever really stop learning. So
walk me through a typical day as a songwriter and a musician.
Yeah, so I like to wake up and have my coffee in Jesus time first thing because I'm not really sane the rest of the day if I don't. I've learned that. And then usually anywhere from 10 a.m. to 12 in the afternoon, you meet with a writer. You could do it at your house. You could do it at their house. Or sometimes I'll be writing in a publishing company. You go in, you sit down, just the 2 of you or however many there are. And I like to personally goof off and get to know them for a little bit if I don't already know them. And some people are not that way. Some people like to go straight forward. And you start working on that song and you work on that anywhere from 25 minutes to 4 hours. And then usually you take a break. And then after that, I like to go to the gym. I like to hang out with my fiance and I like to cook.
Do you and your fiance work on music?
Sometimes we do. So it really depends on the day because our schedules are both super busy. So it's rare that when we are at home, just the 2 of us, we're like, let's do more music because we're pretty busy with it.
Yeah. I get that.
We're pretty good at separating it, but I love to sing with him. We have written a couple times together, so you'll actually hear one that we wrote together tonight as well.
And how do you market your work?
Social media is the biggest way to do that right now, for sure. So posting about it, being willing to upload new things.
And what platforms do you use?
Yeah, I have TikTok, I have Instagram, and I have Facebook as well. So those are my 3 main ones.
And you have a few music videos out as well, correct?
Yes, I do. They're mostly on Facebook, so yeah.
But you have a YouTube channel as well?
Yes, I do have YouTube. Sorry, I forget about that one. And I shouldn't.
Is there any advice that you can offer someone starting on their own creative path in music?
I would just say do it. Don't be scared. Just do it. You're going to have bumps. You're probably not going to be great in the beginning, or maybe you are, but you're going to get a lot better as time goes on. And don't get caught up in the weeds of not being as good as you want to be.
And you mentioned you struggle with like sort of self-esteem, which a lot of women do. What advice could you give someone who's female who's trying to get into the music industry?
Well, the first thing that I would say is that sometimes people are mean. And you got to look past it. You got to have thick skin. And some days your skin's going to be thicker than others. I would say that my best advice outside of that, though, is just to surround yourself with people that, 1, you can fully be yourself with. And 2, with people that build you up, that love who you are. Because those are the people that get you through.
Dear God, how have you been? Things been good on your end. Don't need to waste your time. I bet you got bigger fish to fry. Sure
you were actually on The Voice, is that correct?
Yes, I was a very long time ago.
Can you tell us a little bit about that experience?
Yeah, it was super fun. I was 16, and that's where I met my fiance at, actually.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah, and then our friend Gabriel Broussard as well. We met there, and Gabriel's actually going to marry us.
Oh, that's awesome.
So it's very sweet. It was the best experience ever. It's why I decided to do music, or I guess I should say it's where I decided that I wanted to do music full time and really give up any normal dream that someone would have.
Right.
But it was an amazing experience getting to meet everyone, getting to just live in LA for a couple months with my mom. It was wild. I loved it.